does look better, could do better. That's probably what the teacher would have said. Welcome everyone, welcome to the next video on the ST, and why you join me kneeling down near this part of the car is what I thought I would try and do is, because funds are going to be quite low for the rest of the year with all the mods that I mentioned in the previous video, what I wanted to try and do was I would like to get the car, a lot of it resprayed, like the front bumper, rear bumper, a few of the panels, but because that's going to cost quite a lot, what I wanted to do, just to sort of a bit of peace of mind on making the car look a bit better after it's had a wash, is I've got some quite bad sort of damage here, and what the previous owner had obviously tried to do was to try and just use it up with a touch-up stick, but I don't know if because of polishing or what, but you can actually see the bare metal underneath, so I want to see if I can just do something very quick with what I've got, which is the touch-up stick, maybe a bit of wet and sand, and get the dual action polisher out, and just see if I can improve what's there before it does go to the body shop. So before I get started, what I'll do is I'll show you a couple of the bits that I'm going to look to sort of treat. So hopefully you can see this. So yeah, there we go, the camera's focused. So actually there's a couple of little rough spots there, so I might have to get a little bit of sandpaper out and just give that a little sand. But I don't know if that's going to massively matter, because this whole panel is probably going to have to be sort of resprayed, or this whole section anyway, when it's done professionally. But you can see it's really bad. Like, the rest of this paintwork's quite nice, it's been polished. But yeah, this is bare metal, it's really rough, so I might just give it a little light sand. Then I'm going to get the touch-up stick, fill it all in, then a little bit of a wet sand of the area, and then polish it out. And then if we go to the back of the car, this whole section, and this is a big reason why this part of the car is going to have a full sort of respray, really. It's not just this, but it's kind of all the way along. But again, what I don't like is that there's bare metal showing here, so I'm going to just give it a little light sand, again, touch-up stick, and then polish the area as well, and just see if I can improve it. I mean, some of these scratches, just for now, hopefully might come out. And then I've got another one around this corner on the bumper. Again, like, the rest of this paintwork's quite nice and smooth, but here is quite bad. So I'm just hoping if maybe a little bit of a touch-up stick and just a bit more aggressive on the compound, and see if I can just polish it out to make it look a little bit better. So without further ado, I'm going to set the camera up back on the tripod, maybe do like a bit of a sort of time lapse, I guess, of me doing it, and then let's see what the finish is like afterwards. Okay, we're done. And actually, before I look to show you them, I've got to admit I wasn't too sure if I'd bother showing this video in the end, just because the outcome isn't that great. I feel a little bit disappointed. It was the first time I've ever done something like this, where I've tried to actually sort of kind of wet sand the paint job on a car after using a bit of touch-up stick. I just wanted to try and make things look better, you know, before hopefully in so many months' time, it could be sort of autumn, when I can actually get to a proper body shop and get them to do it. But I'll show you that anyway. It's not too bad. So the first one, this is actually I'll show you the worst one first. So I'll try and show some before and afters, but this panel looked quite bad before. I mean, it's not too bad, but I'll show you, I think you can see in the light, it's still showing up the damage from before. I mean, this is dented, so I can't really help that, but at least it's kind of been touched up. That I think might have been a bit more raw than it was before. That's just a bit of polish stuck in there. There was quite a big scuff actually here, which has kind of nearly come out. Let's see if the camera can you see that little, see if I can show you that little faint area there. That was quite bad. So yeah, this side not so great. I mean, from a little bit of a distance, it's possibly slightly better than it was before, but I mean, that's probably the worst part of the whole car really, and that front corner, but that one's not come out too bad. So then the second one, this was more kind of just scuffed. Again, it's better than I think it was before. I think you can sort of see a bit of like obviously the lumpiness of using a touch-up, but again the whole bumper will get resprayed eventually. But at least it's kind of protected now. I think there was a bit of raw bumper showing here, but using the touch-up stick and polishing that, you know, it's not too bad. As I said, that was probably the least worst, but there was quite a few scratches and scuffs, which I think has kind of come out now. One thing that's mad is by doing wet sanding, the paint feels like glass now. It's amazing. I'd love to do the whole car in that. Maybe that is something that I could do in the future if it gets resprayed. So this is the other one. This was the last one, and the first one I think I started off with. And actually, when you look from here, I'll see if I can show some like before and afters of what it looked like before, just to remind ourselves the big kind of scratches that were in this. And this stood out like a sore thumb. But now when you look at it from here, it's quite hard to sort of see, you know, where they were before. Obviously, if I get a little bit closer up, there you can see when the light catches it, it's still there. But in some lights, like there, it's pretty much gone. It's nearly gone in some lights, and again from here, like you can't really see it. It's only till you get a bit closer and you can sort of see my crappy handiwork. But it's definitely better than it was before. And one thing is, there was like raw metal in a couple of these spots, so at least it has got some paint on now and lacquer. It's not perfect, but I'm happy now that if I'm stood sort of from here, I can't see these horrible big scratches in the paintwork that were there. So that's a lot better. That is probably the best outcome, really. So as a conclusion, no, you can't. Well, I think if you're really good at doing this, then you probably could do it for free just using a touch-up stick. You could make a much better job of it than me. But I wasn't too bothered about, you know, giving the paint quite a good sand and messing around, because I knew this is getting done properly by a professional. This was just so, you know, for the rest of spring and summer, the car just looks that little bit better when I'm going out for drives and taking a picture. And I'm looking now back at that front left arch. It definitely looks a lot better, you know, from probably 1.5 to 2 meters away. I don't think you could really tell that there was a big gouge in there than there was before. And as I mentioned, I was thinking to myself, well, was there much point in showing the video, because it's not a perfect job and I do have a bit of OCD. Now that would have been the case, but because I'm going to a proper professional body shop, I wasn't that bothered. I thought I'll just show you what I've done just to neaten it a little bit up for sort of spring and summer. So yeah, bit of an anticlimax to the video really, because I was hoping to sort of show everyone and be pretty proud of my job, give myself like an 8 out of 10, kind of give myself maybe a 5, 6 out of 10 if that. Does look better, could do better. That's probably what the teacher would have said. So thanks everyone for watching, and hopefully there'll be a much more exciting video coming after this one. See you all again soon. Bye.